Welcome back, everyone, to the Broncos Finest podcast. What a great episode we have today with our special guest. Everyone, clap him in. All right, boys, crack open a beer. Let's get this started.
Jeez.
Beauty, I thought you'd never start.
Time, mate.
Got our special guest, Cal, here today to touch on all things with the Broncos and Cowboys game. Give a bit of stick while there's 3-on-1. Why not?
Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me.
As usual, we'll just go through the whole round first, boys. Give our tips, and then we'll get stuck into the main event, which is the Broncos and Cowboys game.
Awesome.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
Let's do it. So we'll run through the first few matches, boys, see what we think, give our tips, and then we'll get stuck into the main one. So first up, we have got the Dragons and Sharks. What do we think of that one, Cal? Where do we think we're heading in terms of tips, and who do you think is going to win?
Oh, man, after the Sharks' performance last week, honestly, I think they're really just starting to kick on, man. So it's a no-brainer to go for them. I think the Dragons, I think they're in a world of hurt. I just think that peak early, and I can't get past them. What do you reckon, Finch?
Yeah, definitely the better side. Strike plays all over the park. I think, the Sharks obviously going to win. I reckon man of the match will be Hines again.
Yeah, that's unreal. What do you reckon, Corky?
Look, I'm probably going to go Sharks, but a close game, really. Dragons they went pretty well against Panthers last week, which Panthers aren't an easy team to beat. So it's a tough one, but I'm going to go Sharks.
Yeah, I would say similar to you. I like the way the Dragons look tape. I think they've got obviously the George Burgess thing is just fucked, but the rest of the players, I think they're putting in a bit of work and they're looking pretty good. So I'm going to go close, but I'm going to have to go the Sharks too. The way I've been tipping, I'm going to have to maybe tip a few more favourites. We'll see how we go. Getting stuck in round two, we're just going to move through these games fairly quickly. Tigers and Warriors. Where do you think this one's heading, Corky?
Warriors. Tigers are shit.
Yeah, but the Warriors haven't been looking too good either.
Warriors aren't as bad.
As bad.
That's about my 5 cents worth on that one.
Yeah. You thinking the same, Cal?
I was going for the Warriors until I saw the team list, but I wasn't sure if where is he? Bloody Hastings was going to be playing after last week's game. Mm-hmm. But having him there and having their injection of their other captain there, James Tarmow, back after his suspension in the trials, I think he's the type of guy that put a team on the front foot to play off the back of it. So I've tipped the Tigers the last couple of weeks, and I'm pretty embarrassed by those tips, but They've got to come, man. I think that's where it's going to – I think leading from the front with James Tarmow will be the difference this week for the Tigers. So I'm tipping Tigers.
What about you, Finch?
Oh, it's a bit of a basket case of a game, I reckon. Error-riddled game. I think it's going to be – I don't know. It's 14, play 15. I'm going to have to go the Warriors, I reckon.
Yeah. I'm going to the Warriors, this is the third halves pairing in 3 weeks, and it's only round 3. So, I don't trust that. I don't think they've been playing that well. I'm going to have to go the Tigers in this one, similar to just Cal's point there. I feel like they're looking okay. It's some points of those games, like that first half last week was just shocking. But I feel like they can put in a performance. A few of their stars need to stand up. So I'm going to go the Tigers as well. Going on the next game, the first, that's the last Friday night game, is the big one between the Bunnies and the Roosters, the derby there. Personally, in this one, I like the way the Rabbits put in a performance in that last 15 minutes. That was a hell of a game to watch last week. But the Roosters were all class in their win, so I'm going to have to tip the Roosters there. What are you thinking, Finch?
Oh, it's got to be the Roosters, mate. Just look at their lineup. Teddy at the back, Tupu, Momorowski, Manu. It's shits all over South, I think, this week. There's going to be, at least 10 points win, I reckon.
Yeah, Cal, you reckon?
Yeah, I can't get past the Roosters, man. I just think that the Bunnies are in a world of hurt. Like, you can genuinely see from the start of this year that without having Reynolds in their side, they're back to ground zero, boys. They're coming out of the ground. They're no good. I think it's going to be a big score to the Roosters here. I just think Latrell's ego gets in the way, and the team definitely play off the back of his ego in a lot of cases. Like last week, a football game, it goes for 80 minutes, and when it comes down to that final hooter, and people say, it could have gone either way, I can't go past the Roosters. Too good. Corky, what do you reckon?
Yeah, Roosters. I was wrong about them in round one. They got smashed by the Knights. I was wrong about them last week. Thought they were going to get smashed. I'm backing them this week. Hopefully they do me something decent this week, because I've been wrong about them twice now. So I reckon they're a bit classy.
Yeah,
you sound upset about that, mate.
What about the first game on Super Saturdays, boys? The Penrith and the Knights. First versus second, this one is very interesting. What do you think of that one, Cal?
Mate, I'm looking at the team list here, and people talk about comparing apples to apples. Get much better than that. Personally, I think I can't go past the Panthers. I know they haven't got Cleary in there, but I'm purely picking them on fitness. I mean, after seeing them round one, round two, yeah, if I'm going on a fitness point of view, I just reckon the Panthers are way too strong. They can play 100 minutes of football, you know what I mean? Where the Knights, they're playing 80, but this is going to be a real challenge for them to see if they compete with a young, fit squad. So I can't go past the Panthers, mate.
And Cleary named on the reserves too, which is interesting. So that shows signs that he's close to a return. I highly doubt they're going to risk him and just throw him into the game last minute, but that probably shows that he's going to be back next week. But I'm looking at a tight game. I hope the Knights turn up just to make the game interesting. But if I know if they don't, then the Panthers will just roll over them and they'll probably win by about 2 tries or so. But I'm definitely looking forward to this game and watching that one. What about you, Corky?
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. I don't think there's an upset on the cards, though. I think Panthers are still the team to beat for me. Like Cal said, they're very fit, and Knights have had 2 decent wins, but I don't think they're on the Panthers level just yet.
It's funny, we wouldn't have been saying this 2 weeks ago. We would have been saying the Knights are going to get beat by 40.
Yeah.
So very interesting. It's cool. It's crazy to see how the season can change so early. What do you reckon, Finchie?
Yeah, I think it'll be closer than everyone reckons. This will be my bold prediction for the week, I reckon. I reckon the Knights beat Penrith.
Yeah.
I like that
one. Just before you move on, though, the biggest surprise in the Panthers lineup for me has been, remember Sean O'Sullivan back when he was playing for the Broncos and he had a couple of games, nothing come of him, and he got sent off to the Warriors, and, nothing happened. And we talk about players in teams, and that's a perfect example. We have a halfback that's been shipped from the Broncos, shipped to the Warriors, to now going to the Penrith team, where the way he took the reins of that team in round one, and especially round one more than round two, but mate, it just goes to show, it's the people around you that are going to make it happen. I'm very surprised. I'll take back what I said about O'Sullivan after watching him perform this year. So he's really surprised me. Real standout.
Well, I think him just in these few games, Cleary obviously being out, it's been a big thing for him in his career. I reckon he's probably going to get picked up next year now just because of these few games. Just because everyone's like, wow, he can actually perform, because no one noticed it anywhere else. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see that for sure. Looking forward to that game in particular. Storm versus Eels, probably one of the worst games around. Honestly, I don't see Storm doing very well here. Very, very average side. Wooden Spooners, I think, for sure, this year.
Fuck off, idiot.
No, honestly, it will be a good game. Storm look like they're a bit wrecked in terms of COVID. Harry Grant and now I think it's Wishart as well. It'd be interesting to see if another one pops up this week that has it as well. But regardless of who goes out for the Storm, they're going to put a performance in. Very rare to see them get done. But it will be a very good game. I think Eels Storm, it's always a close one. Eels seem to always turn up against the Storm. So, every now and again. Interesting to watch. I would like to see the Eels do it, but I'm going to go the Storm. What do you reckon, Corky?
Storm. They just got too much depth, and Eels will leak a lot of tries against any good attack for me. They've done it against the Titans. I don't know who they played last week. They got a win, though. But bit fragile on defense. Bit too fragile on defense to beat the Storm for me.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you, Finchie?
Well, I'm going to tip the Storm for obvious reasons, but they're a bit of a buggy team for them. Also read somewhere earlier something about Grant being injured too. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, he's got COVID.
Oh, he's got COVID, has he?
Yeah.
So he's out. All right, well,
He's definitely out.
I'd still go Storm, but it'd be very close. It'd be probably 2 points in it, I reckon.
Well, yeah, actually, yeah. Who plays hooker? Because that's Wishart, Grant, and Smith out.
Well, I'm not sure actually.
That's a hard one.
Who?
That's a bit of a headache. That is.
I think that Lewis. Pretty sure he can play a bit of hooker. I have seen him in the hooking role, like when the other two have been injured. But yeah, I don't know what Bellamy's going to do this week.
Oh,
but,
there's a few
yeah,
there. There is a few there actually, and actually even Smith's name's on the reserves too.
We got Nicarima still, or is he out?
Yeah, Jaden Nickrema's in the reserves as well. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see that.
Yeah. So
what do you think about this game, Cal?
I feel it with Parramatta Eels, they seem to be like our famous football club, Boys of Shearers, like got an all-team man on paper. They play to, the other team's levels. The last couple of really shows Parramatta hasn't played to what they're capable of. I mean, hopefully this week with Sean Lane and Papali'i, if they can really inject their second rowers and play off the back of that, I reckon there's a difference. But I'll have to tip Parramatta purely because I just reckon Melbourne are in a world of hurt at the moment. And when you've got a Reid Marnie, such an experienced, elusive hooker, mate, he's so unpredictable and he can shape the game. And if Melbourne are missing such a crucial player, and we're talking about who's going to fill that role, mate, that's a big dent in the spine in my eyes. So I can't go past the Eels on this one.
And also, it'd be a very interesting game. I'm really looking forward to it. We'll brush over these next two games, boys. Titans, Raiders. Personally, for me, this is actually a really hard one, to be fair. Just judging off the sort of team's first two rounds, like Raiders look good against the Sharks, pretty average last week. I'll probably go to Titans, and I think the only way the Titans do win is if Fafita actually decides to turn up. He's on their right side, which is not their favoured side. For some reason, they've got Firma on their left. Everyone's a bit perplexed about that. They don't understand why, because he's not getting any ball. But if Fafita crosses over for a try or two, they win for sure. But the money man needs to step up. What about you, Corky?
Titans for me. The hooker, Hodgson. Is it Hodgson from the Raiders?
Yeah. He's
out, which is a big loss for them. And they're just not looking too crash hot after round one for me. I know it's only round three, but it's just a bit hot and cold where the Titans they've leaked a lot of points, but they've been consistent in attack at least. So you can't really go past the Titans for me. What about you, Finchie?
Yeah, I agree with Sean there. If Fafita shows up, Titans win. If if he goes into his shell and he becomes a bit lazy, as he does a lot, they lose convincingly, I reckon.
Yeah. I'm going the Raiders, boys. It's Geo Stadium. They got their asses handed to them last week, so they'll have a bit of fire in their bellies. They got a new halves combination. They got that Schneider playing with Jack Whiten, but overall, I think change of conditions for the Titans, bang on. Fafita, if he plays, they might win. But yeah, I can't put past them. I reckon Raiders will do a number on these guys.
Yeah, I'm sure Ricky would have fly kicked a few of them after last week's performance for sure.
But
last game before the main event, lads, the Eagles and the Dogs. It's honestly, at the end of the day, with Manly, it obviously comes down to Turbo, and he hasn't been performing. They've been losing. Apparently, this weekend it is going to be raining there. So honestly, this is a game the Dogs could win. They haven't been they've won the first round. Obviously, they weren't even far off against the Broncos as well too. We only essentially won at the end of the day because of Farnworth's it was a strip really. If he didn't do that, then we potentially would have lost. So the Dogs, honestly, to me, don't look too bad. They could be a sneaky win in the wet over the Eagles. So But honestly, if Turbo shows up, then it's all over. So what do you reckon, Cal, there?
I just, after watching the Dogs beat me round 1 and then the game they played round 2, mate, mate, they're like a fine wine. They're getting better with age. So I can't go past the Dogs, man. I reckon they're just on the verge of clicking. I just think that Manly, they seem to be having some off-field issues. You can clearly see between the players that they're not gelling. And last week, well, I just think to myself, I think the Sea Eagles are in a world of hurt. But, mate, I reckon the Dogs, by far, I reckon same deal. I reckon they're coming into form. And what a time, So Dogs all the way. Corky, what do you think, mate?
Mate, I'm the same. Doggies look a lot fitter than what Manly do at the moment. It's not that I don't think Tommy Turbo's playing bad. He's just being shut down, and he's been targeted, which Manly don't really offer anything else in attack, which they should. They've got Daly Cherry Evans and Kieran Foran, which I believe they both played for their country as well. So I don't really know what's going on in attack with them. Really, they don't look like a good Manly Sea Eagles team. They look like wooden spoons at the moment. So Bulldogs for me. They're about to spark and they're about to have a really good season. What about you, Finchy?
Yeah, Bulldogs as well, guys. Manly are just that one-man team that they have been for the last, 3 years, I suppose. They don't look fit to me. They're just, the first 2 rounds, they've just looked really sluggish. I don't know what's going on there, where they didn't have a good preseason or whatnot. But, I reckon the Doggies, big things from them next couple of years, I reckon.
Yeah, one more thing in that game is the Sea Eagles played a Penrith team that honestly really showed up in round 1 and just dominated them all over the park, as well as the Roosters coming off a loss, and just absolutely smashed them all over the park as well. If the Dogs don't really turn up, the Sea Eagles could go back to their old ways too. I think they might be shocked because we've just seen them play the two close to best teams in the comp, I would say. So it'd be interesting to see them play a team that's not up to that level. Anyways, on to the main event, boys. Broncos, Cowboys. Before I say anything, I'm gonna let Cal touch on this game first, without any comment from us three. I just want to see what he thinks of this game, what he thinks of the Cowboys have been doing, how the Broncos have been doing, and his prediction for this. Go ahead, Cal.
All right, thank you, boys. Look, honestly, I've got a good point game here. Genuinely, I believe we do. We've both got young sides. We've both got halfbacks in a role with age and experience behind them, steering the ship. I mean, it's hard. I mean, the biggest thing I've noticed from a Broncos point of view, which we haven't seen for years, is their defence. Their line defence, boys, I'm normally 9 times out of 10 hanging shit on them, but the last couple of games they've turned up and they're playing 80 minutes. As for the Cowboys, same deal. Like, we've got some, new combination in there. I find that Dearden's really, he's stepped up a lot, especially in defence. He's fixed his game up. I think if we go down to battle of the fullbacks, I think New or whatever his name is compared to the Hammer, I think, the Hammer has got it over him across the park. I'm waiting for Katoni Staggs to wake up. I just don't want him to wake up this week. So if he can stay dormant for another week, I'll be happy. Selwyn Cobbo, he was quiet last week. He's the same. Coach will get in his ear. But this is a local derby. You know what I mean? Like, anything can happen, boys. I really do. I think it's going to be a battle of the forwards. We've both got young forwards and laying the foundation for the backs. If that doesn't happen, it's going to be a one-sided game either way. So I'm just hoping that my Cowboys can turn up and compete for 80 minutes, and it'll go down to the wire. That's what I think. My team can't look any better, I believe, for how we are as a team, and you guys can say other, but I reckon you guys are exactly the same. Like, this is a battle of our 2 best teams so early in the season, and let's see what happens. But I reckon Golden Point, boys. What do you reckon, Finch?
Yeah, Cowboys, absolute basket case of a club. I think they're going to get the spoon this year. Yeah, I don't know. I think, I don't know if you read the comments from your coach today. He reckons he skipped on Reynolds and went for Townsend. I reckon that's the dumbest thing I've ever read in my life. Did you see that one this afternoon?
No, which was that?
What's the coach's name? Peyton.
Peyton, yeah.
Yeah, he basically said that he was going to chase, or he didn't want to chase Reynolds. He went after Townsend instead because he had the opportunity to buy him as well.
No,
how silly is that?
Look, at the end of the day, I mean, personally, I believe a halfback's one person. It's got to come from the forwards. Foundations have to be laid. As long as you've got your forwards going forward and you play off the back of it, anything can happen. The only thing I just thought of then was just looking at the team list, which I'm excited about, is we got Reuben Cotter back. Reuben Cotter, for me, is a Dallas Johnson. Watching him in the trials and watching him play, he's a genuine lock forward for the Cowboys. He runs all day and tackles all day. If I'd like to see a change in my team, I'd like to see Tamalolo get put on an edge and play a Fafita role and put Cotter in. So instead of, people talk about his strike power and that, but it's annoying to watch because you can't have tackles and strike. You can't have those two things. It's one or the other. So I'm hoping over time that, if the coach listens to Tamalolo or listens to the team, that we might see Reuben Cotter in a 13 jersey and Tamalolo on an edge. But let's just see what this game brings. I think that'll be the change that'll come in, and all I want to see is good football. I don't want a game, because the biggest thing that pisses me off, and you saw that against the Cowboys with the Dogs, it come down to one of our players being offside, and people go, "Oh, Cow, you lost the game." It's like, well, you got 80 minutes, boys. That's one call. Like, you've got 80 minutes to win a game. Don't point your finger at that as just pot luck. You know what I mean? That's what fucking drives me nuts about football. You got 80 minutes, play the game, and win convincingly. Sorry, Finch, but yeah, go on.
What's Tamalolo playing these days? Is he still playing 30 minutes, having a break and come back on?
60.
I reckon they need him 60. Yeah.
I felt like he hardly played, to be honest. He was gone for a long stint in the middle there. But yeah, I reckon he would have played, maybe, I don't even think he played that much last week. It would have been maybe half a game. And they injected him in their last 20, but I don't know. Do
you reckon he goes better? Do you reckon he goes better, like, on the field the whole time, like he was years ago? I reckon I'd have him on the field as long as I can.
We signed him on a 10-year deal when he was playing second row. Do you know what I mean? And then they go, we need someone like that when Dallas Johnson left, and, we come into there. But I just think that, like, you imagine the Titans putting Fafita in lock, big boy, mobile, agile, can move. A big boy like that can't play 80 minutes. Do you know what I mean? And then that's the thing. If you push him out, see what he can do. Give him an opportunity to show you. Don't just fucking, I can go on about this team for ages, so don't get me started.
I'll chime in here quickly. Just look, Ben. Tamalolo played 53 minutes, which is less than Jordan McLean, who started at number 8.
That's what I mean. Like, he's got a bigger motor than as big a motor as Haas, I reckon.
Which, very interesting selection there. There's very interesting the way that he's playing him. If he was playing him like that, you'd probably almost prefer to see him in that prop position in a way. If he's going to play him at lock, maybe that little bit longer. But what I personally see from this week is if Tamalolo goes off, like you said, Cal, maybe Robson goes into that 13 role and plays that 80, and then sort of swap back when Tamalolo comes back on again.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so. I'd love to see Reuben slot in there and they put Tamalolo potentially in the front row or second row. Obviously everyone sees what's happening in the media and people talk about, the coach, and there's something not happy there. They're not gelling in a way. But, people often tell me, they say, oh, you signed him for 10 years, $10 million deal. Mate, this guy's got heaps of football left in him. And it'd be sad if it comes down to it, he leaves our club because of necessarily not getting along or anything like that, and then someone puts the right number on his back and he fucking runs over us, that's when I'll be upset. So, yeah, I believe in the kid.
What do you reckon, Corky?
There's a lot to dissect there. Pretty happy with how Payne Haas played last week. Just being consistent. The week 1, he didn't look like he was running as hard as he could. He looked back to normal last week. Bit concerned about Cobbo, as I spoke about probably the other day, he's shooting in the defence a little bit, which can find the Broncos defence caught out sometimes if he's not careful. But I think the coach will be in his ear about that. From the Cowboys, Tom Dearden didn't click at the Broncos, but he seems to be finding his groove at the Cowboys, which is, I guess, nice to see because he does have a bit of talent, but just hopefully he doesn't use it against the Broncos. Yeah, attack-wise as well, I think Brisbane need to hold the ball and not bomb tries. I think the last 2 weeks probably bombed about 4 or 5 tries. But other than that, like even Stagg's try that was disallowed last week, that deserved the try from Reynolds' fucking brilliance. But turning up in defence, I can't really go past the Broncos. I think it'll be a close game. Like I said, probably Golden Point. It's looking like a good derby, to be honest. Like a good old-fashioned derby, I reckon. But Broncos for me, honestly. Maybe Capewell can get another field goal. That'd be nice.
Are you coming up to the Caxton, Cal?
Mate, I'm away in the caravan this weekend, so I'll just be home in time to watch the game. So,
Yeah, right.
Oof.
Yeah. Otherwise, mate, I'd be there. I just I'm going over it, mate. This game's going to be a good one. Like it could be injuries in this. It's both clubs, as much as it's a local derby, they fucking hate each other, boys. I hate Broncos, mate, and you guys hate me. I love it. It's fantastic, but let's see. It's 2 young sides going at it, full stadium, up the fucking Cowboys.
The fucking might as well go for the Storm.
Yeah, no. I was honestly straight up ready to rule the Cowboys off after round 1. Hey, I was like, fuck yeah, they're going to be shit.
Absolute basket case.
I was like, they're going to be shit this year. Thank God we're going to thump them. I think we've had you guys' number over the past few games. But then I was obviously I seen them play last Saturday night, and as soon as the game was finished, I was like, fucking hell, we're going to Golden Point again, aren't we? I just can't stand the Golden Point Broncos and Cowboys game. I can't fucking watch them. If I'm at that game on the weekend and it goes to Golden Point, I'll just be having a nervous fucking breakdown because I'll be getting flashbacks. but
I'll film it for the party, mate.
But honestly, boys, but for the sake of the game, I just hope it is close in that way, especially if we are there. The atmosphere is going to be fucking unreal. We're going to be cheering up a Storm as we normally always do when we go to these games. But it's always a hell of a game, and regardless of how shit they're going at the time, they just always seem to turn up, both sides. So it's essentially what Cal said. It'll be a battle of the forwards, and the backs are just going to play off that. Reynolds at the end of the day is our new signing. He's not going to do much. He's just going to direct the team around. He's going to put in some solid kicks for us, which we haven't had in years. Get us out of our sort of like our own half when we're in trouble. For example, if our backs, they start to get tired, they're not making many meters. Reynolds is going to get us out of there. We haven't had that in such a long time. At the end of the day, I think if it does come down to the halves, which I don't believe it will, we have got the more experienced halves pairing. Kelly's played for a while. He's went over the Super League, came back. I reckon he looks pretty good to me personally. Obviously, Reynolds, we know what he can do. Dean's running game looks really good, actually. I actually really like his running game. It's something that I was keen on when he was at the Broncos. Obviously, we were all disappointed when he did go. But I think for now, I think we've made a better choice, obviously. Townsend, I think he's more that sort of safe ahead too. Like he just sort of directs the team around. Doesn't like star, essentially. He's not going to make the sort of stat sheet or anything, but he is good in that sense. So I think in a way the halves are sort of similar, but we have got a bit more experience there. Forwards are very similar in the way of like Haas and Tamalolo. If Tamalolo plays probably the minutes that he should, will dominate in the middle of the ruck there. In terms of second rowers, I think we've got a lot more experience there too. Usually a little bit younger, less experience there. So I feel like that's where I'm just, obviously I'm slightly biased, but I just feel like we have that slight little bit of an edge there. In terms of backs, I can have the edge slightly over us, maybe, potentially. Yeah. But again, it's going to be one of the forwards, So I can't wait to see them both just absolutely just sort of like run into each other and just it'll just be carnage in the middle, and it's just going to make the whole game exciting to watch.
Just on that, we all think it's going to go down the wire on the Golden Point. just go back to last week when was it last week when Melbourne played South and it come down to Golden Point? Like, what are your guys' thoughts on Golden Point? Like, personally, like that wasn't my team playing, but when it gets to full time and the siren sounds and it comes into that Golden Point, should it be 5 each way? Or because how many times do you see one small error and the whole game's just gone? You know, like that's one thing about rugby league, which I find it a hard pill to swallow when I watch any team is, you know, it gets that Golden Point, like Latrell Mitchell slotted that from 40 out. It goes to extra time. There's a bobble ball. Yeah, it's advantage. You know, if you're playing 5 each side and you want to drop kick it 5 times, go for gold. But I don't know. What are your thoughts, Cork, on that? Should we be playing a Golden Point or should we be playing extra time?
I personally like the Golden Point. It makes it a bit more exciting. As if your team fucks up, even like, you know, the grand final where Ben Hunt dropped the ball, that sucked, but it's just the rules.
Yeah, but it's changed. It's changed since then now, and I like the way they've implemented it in terms of it is like that in finals, but it's Golden Point in regular season. So I think that evens it out a bit for me personally.
Yeah. So what's the rule change?
Extra time in finals now instead of Golden Point.
So I mean,
I reckon it should be extra time every round, and then if there's 5 minutes each way, still a draw, get a draw.
100%.
Bring back the draw they had 20 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I think it's got to be consistent with both, though. That's the issue I have with that.
Yeah.
Can't be just changing it for the finals, which it kind of doesn't make sense to have the extra time for finals, because if you end up with a draw, then what do you do? Do you have like a goal kick shootout or something?
And it goes to Golden Point after that.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, boys. That was a good wrap up. Anyway, obviously we're not going to ask for tips in the game because we all know who we're going to go for, so it's going to be pretty stupid to ask. But
obviously the Broncos.
Yeah, we all think it's going to be a close one, boys. I'm just hoping for a freaking solid game. I'm really looking forward to it. I always love talking about you this week and each week doing this sort of shit. It's awesome to have Cal on. Good footy brain, and hope to have you on in the future, regardless if we're talking Broncos Cowboys.
Yeah, thanks for having me, boys. Pleasure, and up the fucking Cowboys.
Not this week, mate. Not this week.
The nerve on him.
I hate you. As a famous boy quote would be, I hate you, but I love you. I'll leave it on that note.
Feel the same. We just hate you for this week, and we'll go back to that after.
Yeah, go back to normal next week.
Yeah.
Well, if I still hate you for a little bit longer, so just.
We like him. I thought we never liked him at all. What's going on there?
Vince, you know what? Anyone, there's 3 blokes I can say, and you're one of them, which after a game, I just think, I don't want to look at you. I just don't even want to fucking talk to you. You know? There's no compromise. It's just dig in a hole and put me in it. So fuck you.
I was like that when he was coaching us too.
Yeah, that whole thing, a good coach trains with his boys.
Got used to a grand final, didn't I?
Yeah. Did. Thank you.
You blokes fucking lost it after that.
Okay, enough of the almost Shearers talk, boys. Wrap it up here. Keen for this round, boys. Keen to have a few beers before the Broncos Cowboys, where there'll be a few too many beers. So that's looking forward to this weekend of footy, boys. Let's enjoy it, and can't wait to see how we go. And we might even do a bit of a reaction straight after the game live from Suncorp Stadium.
Awesome.
The Cax. Hopefully sees all the Cax tonight.
Yeah.
All right, lads.
That's
Thank
cool.
you, man. I look forward to next week.
Beautiful. I love it. Catch you later.
So yeah.
Boys.